You've been told that you can scale your Facebook ads while maintaining a high return on the ad spend, and that when you usually scale up the budget, the ROAS decrease. But in reality, there is a specific strategy that we're using also in our agency to generate the results that you see right now on the screen. And as you can see, we maintain a very high return on the ad spend, even if we increase the amount spent, so the actual ad budget. And this strategy requires the use of cost controls, and to be more specific, of bid cap campaigns. And so in this video, I will teach you exactly how we use bid cap campaigns in our agency to scale brands while maintaining a very high return on the ad spend, and technically how you can do it too. So the first thing that I want to show you guys is actual proof here of a campaign that we're running. This is a bid cap campaign with an 18 cap. So you can see on a maximum time frame here, we spent 22k with a 3.29 return, 3.31 return on the ad spend. And then if we go into the details, I wanted to show you here basically that in the last 7 days as well, the campaign keeps spending and performing well. And we started this campaign around, as you can see, in 17th of September the campaign was inactive, 1st of October the campaign was not active, and we actually launched this campaign back in November. So as you can see, if we take the entire time frame in November, there was 1.3k spent with a 22 cost per purchase, because during this period we were still testing the actual bid cap. And then during December we were able to scale this campaign. As you can see, the spend went up a lot, by 15 times more. So we were able to increase on this specific campaign the amount spent from 1k in a month, 1.3k in a month, to 15k in a month, while also increasing the ad spend. While also increasing the return on ad spend to 3.41 and improving the cost per purchase. So this is crazy, as you guys can see. And we've been using this campaign also for January, February, March, and this campaign overall now spent 22k, keep spending, and the overall return on the ad spend is 3.31. So how can you actually use the same campaign strategy in order to increase your ad spend on the overall ad account while maintaining a very good and healthy return on the ad spend? As you can see, this is like 3.31 just on this example here. Cool. So the first thing to say is that you need to understand your target customer acquisition cost. This is where everything starts from. So let me give you an example. If you want to have a 3x ROAS, let's say, because this is your target, and your AOV is 60, you need to start with a bid cap of 20. So you know for sure that 20 times 3 is like 60, which is your AOV, and 3 is in this case going to be your target return on the ad spend. So in this case, you need a bid cap of 20. And what you need to do here, you need to set up a new campaign, which is only one ad set, and this ad set will need to contain a 20. We need to use a 20 bid cap, $20 bid cap, or in whatever the currency you're running at, and you need to use between 6 to 50 winning ads inside. And this winning ads here is in bold because this is very important. A lot of people still don't know what a winning ad is, and a winning ad is basically an ad that is constantly getting purchases at a CPA below your target bid cap, in this case below 20, and is one of the top 3 highest spender in the test ad set. If you run a test ad set, or technically what you want to have creatives that have a high amount of spend with a high amount of purchases at a CPA below your bid, your target bid cap. The moment that you launch the campaign, there are a few things that can happen. The campaign, it can spend, it cannot spend, it can spend just part of the budget, and this is when we are start to tweak things in order to make the campaign spend more. So this is how the logic is, and I'm gonna go into the details now. So first question is, does the campaign spend? And you have 3 options here. No, yes, but spend less than 90% of the total budget. Yes, spend more than 90% of the total budget. So you spend more than 90% of the total budget. What you can do here is simply just scale. So increase the budget so the campaign can spend more. And then if is yes, but it's not spending the entire budget, so let's say spending only 20-30% of the daily budget that you're going to use, you need to increase your cap by 5%. And then again, you wait 7 days, and then here you ask yourself again, is this campaign spending 90% of the total daily budget now? No, you need to keep increasing the bid until it goes up to 20%, the actual bid. So if your current bid target is 20, you can go up to 22, which is 20% more than 20. And then what you want to do, you want to increase the bid 5%, 5%, 5%. until you reach this 22. In this case, you can technically do like simply like 21, 22. Very, very simple. And if the campaign now spends more than 90% of total budget, in this case, what you can do is simply just scale up the budget. Now, what is going to happen if this is not spending, even if you increase more than 20% of your actual cost target, then you need to go into this step here. But before I actually go into details of this step, let me actually show you, because they will actually match to this one, which is the case of you launch a bid cap campaign and the campaign does not spend. So what you need to do here, you need to increase the budget by 20%, and you need to ask yourself if the campaign is spending or not. You arrive in this case here specifically when you set your cap to 20, for instance, you increase by 20% because the campaign was not spending. So you have done this increase by 20% in the cap. So from 20, you put 22 in this case specifically, or in this case as well, and you find yourself in this situation where you have your current bid cap, which is 20% higher compared to your real bid cap. So rather than 20 is now 22. That means that you cannot increase anymore the bid cap, otherwise you most likely end up having a cost per purchase which is going to be too high. So you need to ask yourself, is the campaign spending now? If the answer is yes, and the CPA that the campaign is getting is below the target CPA, perfect, you can just increase the budget and scale. Then if it's not, so if the campaign is not spending at all, or if it's spending but the CPA is too high, then it means that you don't have the right creatives to sustain the specific CPA. And so what is going to happen is that you basically need to add the new creatives. So you need to test new creatives, you need to create new creatives, and then you need to add the new creatives inside the original bid cap campaign, inside the same ad set where you have all the other ads. And then you need to start the process again, and then ask yourself, does the campaign spend? So you need to put back your target actually to your original target, which is 20. When you put the new creatives inside, you can just simply keep it as 22. And then what you want to do, you go back to the original process here when you start testing all different caps based on the campaign spent. So if the campaign is spending or not spending. And then after this scenario, you're going to find yourself in a situation technically where your campaign is spending a low budget, you keep increasing the budget, and the campaign is going on some days to spend a little bit more, on other days spend a little bit less. But that's basically because the campaign is going to match the demand that the audience have in specific periods. So for instance, maybe during weekend you have a higher demand for your product, and so this campaign is going to spend more budget during the weekend, while also going to spend a lower budget during the weekdays. And that's totally fine, because what you're simply doing, you're maximizing the efficiency of the overall ad account. So you are maximizing the spend on the days when there is more demand, which means probably higher spend at a good ROAS. Then you are decreasing the spend when the demand is lower, which means that you cannot probably sustain the specific ROAS during the weekdays, but you can during the weekends. So it makes sense to actually increase the budget during the weekends, but not during the weekdays. And this is why this campaign is very important to have inside an ad account, because it allows you actually to increase the overall spend of the account while also maintaining technically a very good return on the ad spend. And for this video, guys, that's basically it. If you have any question, feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to reply to everyone as usual. Remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.